Evening. It is 7 o'clock, September 16th, 2019, and this is the Planning and Zoning Board. We are now open. So number one is a call to order, roll call.
Mr. Hasse,
Here?
Mr. Seaman,
Here.
Mr. Coiner, Mr. Savopoulos,
Here.
Mr. Vesey, Ms. McCumber,
Here.
Mr. Petrantoni.
Thank you. Number two is approval of minutes from August 19th, 2019.
I make a motion to approve the minutes as written.
Second. Thank you. Take the call, please.
Ms. McCumber,
Yes.
Mr. Stavropoulos,
Yes.
Mr. Seaman,
Yes.
Mr. Hasse.
Yes. Thank you. Moving right along. So number three is the quasi-judicial announcement and swearing in of any speakers tonight.
Chair, I just will say that you do have less than a full board. You do have a quorum tonight. So if the rules do state that the applicant may postpone their application to the next meeting because you do not have a full board. There's no guarantee that the next meeting will have a full board, but I just wanted to let you know. You'll still need an affirmative vote tonight. But that's up to you. I just want to let the applicant know if you come up, you can decide to. You can, yes, you have. So the board currently there is enough for a vote tonight, but is not the full board. So you have the option, if you'd like, to postpone your application till next month's meeting, knowing that there might not be a full board next month. Just wanted you to be aware of that. Okay, I just wanted to let you be aware. This is a quasi-judicial proceeding where the Planning and Zoning Board acts in a quasi-judicial rather than a legislative capacity. At a quasi-judicial hearing, it is not the board's function to make law, but rather to apply law that has already been established. In a quasi-judicial hearing, the board is required by law to make findings of fact based upon the evidence presented at the hearing and apply those findings of fact to previously established criteria contained in the Code of Ordinances in order to make a legal decision regarding the application before it. The board may only consider evidence at this hearing that the law considers competent, substantial, and relevant to the issues. If the competent, substantial, and relevant evidence at the hearing demonstrates that the applicant has met the criteria established in the Code of Ordinances, then the board is required by law to find in favor of the applicant. By the same token, if the competent, substantial, and relevant evidence at the hearing demonstrates that the applicant has failed to meet the criteria established in the Code of Ordinances, then the board is required by law to find against the applicant. Are there any members of the board that wish to disclose any ex parte communication or conflicts of interest? Seeing none, anyone in the audience that will be speaking tonight, to give, if you think you may speak, please stand and raise your right hand to be sworn in. Are you able to stand, ma'am? Okay. Okay. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
So sworn.
Thank you. Next is number four, application number 19-85, conditional use approval. Allow modification of an existing conditional home occupation for cat boarding at 1206 East Boyer Street to allow an increase of the upper limit of cats to be boarded from 9 to 18 cats. Do we have any staff comments?
Yes, this is an application for a conditional, for expansion, basically, of a conditional home occupation for boarding of cats at 1206 East Boyer Street. The conditional home occupation was granted to board cats previously in 2016. The maximum number of cats to be boarded at any one time was restricted to 9. The applicant would like to board up to 18 cats at any one time. The use is still limited to the same area of the property and the residence. It is limited to 25% or less of floor area. The applicant will continue to control traffic to the residents as they have been, and the use is proposed entirely within the structure. There's more detail about that on page 2 of your staff report. With respect to your criteria, The use is consistent with the Land Development Code, with the restrictions that staff will recommend to be attached to this conditional use should it be approved. It is compatible with the neighboring residential area. The area of cat boarding is between the home and the detached garage, entirely on the inside or interior of the structure, and this is a large lot. This is basically a parcel combining 3 lots where this residence is located. The use does not conflict with Tarpon Springs Comprehensive Plan. There are no environmental issues and historical resources will not be impacted. And conditional use will not adversely affect adjoining property and property values due to the nature of the animals being boarded, the low number of boarders, the placement and buffering of the use on the property. The property is already served by the city with respect to public facilities, and it provides for home occupation use in a residential area of the city, which is an appropriate use for that area. This application was publicly noticed. Staff received a total of 8 responses to that notice, all in support of the application. 5 of those are included in your packet. 3 were provided this evening. Staff is recommending approval of Resolution 2019-29, requesting a conditional use to allow a home occupation for a cat boarding business at 1206 East Boyer Street in the R70A single-family residential zoning district, subject to the following conditions. The use is restricted to the care of no more than 18 cats at one time. There are no retail sales of goods allowed on the property. The cat boarding business is limited to a maximum of 25% of the floor area of the residence. The home occupation is to be conducted entirely within the residence. There shall be no exterior evidence of the home occupation. Customer traffic to the property must be by appointment only to limit the traffic and parking impacts on surrounding property owners. All parking is to be accommodated on the subject property, and any proposed signage must be consistent with the Land Development Code. Do you have any questions?
Thank you. Any questions from the board?
That was my question regarding the parking, but you just answered it. So thank you.
Thank you. So at this time, I would like to ask anyone in the applicant would like to state anything tonight? Would you like to comment on your application? Well, you're
No,
the
the rules of
applicant. Are you the
procedure state-
applicant?
Yeah, so the rules of procedure for tonight, just so the procedure will be the applicant will have an opportunity to speak first. Anyone in support in the audience can go next. Anyone in opposition can go last. And then finally, the applicant has a second chance to speak to rebut anything.
Right.
So
Okay.
the applicant, yes, and you will have a second chance at the end of the meeting to speak more if you'd like to.
Please state your name and address when you get up there, please.
My name is Tina Stern, and I live at 1206 East Boyer Street. I've been in operation, excuse me, for about a year and a half now. My immediate neighbors all across the street, and I think my adjoining neighbors on either side, are very, very nice neighbors, and they're very considerate. They are welcome to come and go and see.
Can I have you speak into the microphone, please?
This one?
Yes.
Sure. I'll start over. So I've been in business for over a year and a half. In that year and a half, I have had no issues, complaints, concerns from my immediate neighbors. All of the residential neighbors directly across the street and on either side of me, we're all very friendly. We know each other. We talk all the time. They're welcome inside anytime. Sometimes they just come over to see what's going on and pet the cats. We have room. We have a double driveway and a single driveway, so we can accommodate parking without obstructing the street or sidewalks or anything. I don't really know what else to say other than I've been in the veterinary business for 20 plus years. Caretaking is my thing. I run the facility like it's a hospital. Disinfectants, cleansers, standards of cleanliness. That has its own dedicated laundry. Things are washed constantly. And the boarding area is just inside or just outside of our own bedroom door. So it is kept as clean as possible because just inside of that room is our home. So we're very particular about how we maintain it. I have a number of veterinarians that lent some letters in my support as far as my background and my capabilities and whether they feel that is a number that is excessive for me to handle or not. And they don't feel like it's unreasonable. Especially, I have 9 big units. So if you consider I just have 2 cats in one space, it's no different than having 1 cat in one space. It's 1 litter box. It's 1 set of dishes. It doesn't make an impact to my caretaking responsibilities. So,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Wait 1 moment. Any board members here have any questions for the applicant?
You want to say a little bit about like why you want to go from the 9 to the 18? Like,
I have, in my space, I have 9 spaces. And I tried to outline in my application. I've had a couple of scenarios come up where I've had like 3 clients and they have 3 cats. I have 9 cats. I'm only using 3 spaces. I have 6 empty spaces. And if I have somebody to call that wants me to take care of, especially I take care of a lot of medically needy cats. I have diabetic cats and renal support cats, fluid therapy cats, ones that need injections and medications that they just can't leave with a pet sitter. So if I have my 9 cats occupying 3 spaces and I have one of my medical clients call me, you know, I'm supposed to be full at 9, yet I have a space I can offer them. And really, I shouldn't. So I don't want to be non-compliant, but I want to be able to help my clients that need me for those medical cases too. They really kind of count on me.
I see here that you had a license to sell. You have a license to sell animals? Is that?
Oh, no.
No? Pet dealer? Oh, kennel
That's a permit to operate by Pinellas County Animal Services. That's my inspection program. They can come in anytime and inspect me.
Okay. Well, someone that has 4 cats, I certainly understand talking about. Any other questions from the board?
Just one brief question. I'm just looking at the, the floor plan you have here. And I could see the layout of the 9 little stalls you have. They're, I guess based on this, they're exceptionally large.
They are.
Okay.
They are my bigger ones are 4 foot by 6 foot. You could put 2 Great Danes in there.
Because I can't read the scale, what the scale reads.
Yeah,
But
they're quite large.
they look like they're about 10 feet long.
No, they're not. They are 4 foot by 6 foot, the larger ones.
Okay.
And the smaller ones that are in that little adjacent room, they're 4 by 4
Gotcha.
by 5 foot high.
Any more questions from the board? No. So at this time, you can have a seat, and we'll ask any applicants or any people from the public in support of this to please come up and speak. Please state your name and address.
My name is Carol Barth. I live at 722 Hidden Lake Drive, which is in Whitcomb Place in Tarpon Springs. I've been a client of Tina's for many years, and I can tell you that she is a very caring, devoted person. I met her when she was working at a cat hospital. She knows cats better than anybody I've ever met. I've had cats all my life, and I can tell you I've never seen a facility as clean and as large and as sanitary as she offers. I'm one of those people that is affected because cat families usually come in 2s or in 4s in some cases, but they occupy 1 cage. That means that only 4 or 5 families can be accommodated at a time, leaving empty cages. So if I want to travel and Tina has empty cages, it's an inconvenience for me because I'm not able to use the cages that she has available and ready for use. So I'm hoping that you will approve the application tonight. Her facility is unlike any I've ever seen before in terms of cleanliness. The cages are large. The traffic is minimal because it's only by appointment, and really you don't bring in more than one appointment at a time because you can only handle taking in, for boarding only one cat or one set of cats at a time. So I doubt that the neighbors even notice that there's any traffic there whatsoever. So please do accept her application. She does very good work, and she's a very caring individual, and she extends that to her cat families as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else in favor?
Hello, I'm Beth Wanneker Cook. I live at 338 Coquina Drive in Tarpon Springs, and I'm a fairly new client of the Cozy Cat Inn. I found the Stern family through their Google page, and I was in desperate need. I have two recently diagnosed cats with medical needs, and I needed to travel, and I had no other option, and I found them, and it was like a miracle that I found her facility, and she has the medical background that she has and the ability to care for the cats, and luckily she had space and was able to accommodate my cats. So I hope that you will approve, and I can also attest that every time I've been to the place, it's by appointment only. We always arrange a specific time for me to come. I didn't realize it was because of the traffic concerns, but I can say that every time I've been there, it was by appointment. Even the first time when I came to just check it out before. It's very clean, and it's a great place. It's a great business and a great asset to the community.
Thank you. Anyone else in favor?
Hi, I'm Patrick Sunsky. I live at 1203 East Warrior Street, directly across the street. Your concern was about parking. There is nothing. There's more problems from the delivery drivers from West Shore, Jimmy John's, Bugs and Jugs than there is from the inn. As far as that goes, as far as the outside, there is no issue. It's clean, neat, respectable. As far than that, I'm in support for her to increase. Everything they've done for the place has upped the value of my house, because they've not only fixed the home, they also added more to the property itself. So,
Thank you. And now we'd like to ask anyone that's opposed to come up and speak. Yes, ma'am. So you can come up, state your name and address.
I'll try and speak a little louder and so that everyone can hear, only because I'm a little bit hearing impaired, a little bit, not too much, but a little bit. I'm a resident on Boyer Street, just below
Excuse
where...
me. Please state your name and
Oh.
address.
My name is Susan Thornton. I live at 1305 East Boyer Street in Tarpon Springs. I am about a block and a half down from the residence that is petitioning to have an increase in their business of boarding cats. I went through and talked to the woman who is proposing this. First of all, I didn't know that there was any business at all that was active in our neighborhood. We are a very settled, very quiet business. And yes, cats can be quiet. And of course, she's far enough distance from me to not have to worry about them. But in looking at the logistics, she is certified now for 9 cats. And I've had cats, and I've had dogs, and I've had kittens, and I've had all of that. Okay, and the physical strenuous on your body to take care of 9 cats is quite a bit, but to take care of 18 cats is over the top. And I don't think that it is fair to her, and I don't think it's fair to the cats, because the cats can't possibly get the adequate care, and I think she's going to exhaust herself with that many cats should that happen. The other thing is, all right, if you put a ceiling on the 18 cats, because she's looking at the monetary part of it rather than the day-to-day care of it, there is only her taking care of these cats. Her husband is on their business application as the office manager. He is also on 100% disability. Now, all right, he can answer the phone and he can take whatever he needs to do, but if he can do that, then he should have a legitimate paying job, or he should not be on disability. All right, the other situation is the way our street is built. We do not allow on-street parking overnight. You have to park over so that you don't impede traffic. And that's fine. She already has someone parking over off the street, and that's fine. And she certainly has enough parking for what she has now. But if she gets to the max of 18, what's going to do, what is that going to do with the people coming and going and coming and going? There is not adequate room on either side of the road to have cars climbed up this way and cars this way. I'm just very surprised that she wants that many, other than for monetary reasons. Now, she's got them all in cages, and she certainly has enough room to have 19 cats, but not to care for these cats as a single proprietor in a home in a very settled neighborhood. And that is my objection.
All right, thank you very much. At this point, the applicant, would you like any rebuttal for that? All right.
When my neighbor stopped by the other day, I was working out in the yard, and she caught me, and we spoke at her car briefly. I invited her in. She didn't want to come in. And her first comment was, "I've lived here for 8 years. I never knew you were here. How did you get away with this?" I said, "Well, I've been here operating for almost 2 years, and you didn't know I was here, so I must not be causing a problem." And as far as my husband, he's had back surgery, neck surgery. He is still being diagnosed with a variety of things. He is in bed the majority of his life. He answers the phone for me when I'm not there. He makes a reservation when I'm not there. He goes and he checks the litter boxes in the afternoon if I'm not there, just to make sure everything's tidy. He does what he can to help me, but he has legitimate, serious physical limitations. So it's a little bit of a offensive to me for her to attack me for the disability thing when he truly is affected physically, and he does as much as he can to help me. But I do 90% of the work. So that was my own 2 cents, that's all.
Thank you. Anyone else in the audience have any comments? All right, so at this time we will close public conversation, and the board, amongst ourselves, do we have any questions, any comments? None spoken, so I would like to call for a vote, please.
Make a motion to approve application 18-95 as noted by the staff. A second.
Thank you.
And Chair, just for clarification, meaning all of staff's recommendations?
Yes.
Okay, just want that clarified for the record.
Thank you.
Okay. Ms. McCumber,
Yes.
Mr. Stavropoulos,
Yes.
Mr. Seaman,
Yes.
Mr. Hasse.
Yes. Seeing how that's all that are here, the motion passes. Application passes number 19-85. And we move on to number 5, staff comments.
No comments this evening, thank you.
Thank you. Number 6, any board comments? No comments. So then we'll move on to number 7, adjournment. May I have a second?
I'll second.
Adjourn in a second. You don't need a vote.
Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
We're good.
Thank you. Meeting's over. You pass.